for me, or someone's asking for a little bit of help, and it's on bullying. And what can we do about bullying? What do we just teach martial arts to fight back? Is it possible to stand up for yourself? Well, when I was at school, I was just, I was able to just punch them back, and that's fine. But that never really happened, And this connected with me really well. Something, when you study things and you can see yourself within those scenarios, you can really identify, and you're going to dive deep, which is what I did on this subject. And so there's someone asking for help. One of their kids are being bullied and not making any friends and not sure what to do about it. So a lot of people jump on the post and stand up for yourself, go learn martial arts. Some people tag me in there and said, hey, Steve Kell, martial arts. And thank you to the people that tagged me in and said that Steve doesn't just do martial arts. He helps them at their stage of development. Well done, you. Okay. Someone's learning from me is great. Anyway, so what's happening? So if you ever seen that scenario, maybe you was like me. I was bullied at school. And maybe you were as well, or maybe you're bullied at home. Maybe you're bullied by your siblings, by your parents, by some friends. Maybe friends bullied you. Maybe people in school bullied you. Maybe people outside on the street bullied you. I don't know. Maybe you were just bullied somehow, somewhere. What happens when this happens? So this is part of our brain, okay? It's called the amygdala. You've probably heard of it. It's called the amygdala. And what it's responsible for, seeking out danger and preparing to protect you and alert you, like an alert system. And what it's going to do, it helps process your emotions and your body's stress response. That's preparing for you heard of fight, flight, faint, freeze, or run, which is flight. You've heard of that, probably heard of that. And that's what this is responsible for. And it's there to put you into an alert mode. Okay. And it releases cortisol. That's where it comes from. And, puts you in that stress environment. This is being used over and over. And I have a really good story to do, which, thank you, Melody Johnson, once again for telling me the story. But the problem with this is when it keeps happening, the amygdala becomes sensitized to this stress, this anxiety, and it's basically getting used to it. So it starts to see everything in a stressful way. Everything could be a danger. And here's the great story that Melody Johnson shared with me. Is imagine every day you're gonna go take your child to school. And so every day you open the door, as soon as you open the door, there's a wolf there. It's drooling with rabies and stuff. And so the kid opens the door, he looks at, sees a wolf. No way, I'm scared. I'm not going. The wolf's going to eat me. He's going to eat me. Okay, so you go, okay, let's go. Let's get past the wolf. Next day, he opens the door and the wolf's there again. No way. I'm scared. 30 days later, he's opened the door. The wolf's still always there. Every time he opens the door, the wolf is there, hungry. He's scared, fear. Well, of course, that's sensitizing the amygdala. And it's going to be releasing cortisol on a regular basis before he even opens the door now. So it's already producing fear before the event. And this is what can happen. So, you've got this massive amounts of cortisol running, increased anxiety, perceiving potential threats that don't exist. That's really important, because how many times do you do that? I've done that. It's like, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, worried about this, because we're overly stressed or anxious. Now, what's this got to do with bullying? Well, there's another part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, and that's like responsible for making good choices, good decision, emotional regulation, and literally help us make the decisions that guide us through our life. Well, this part of the brain is now going to be affected by the stress, the anxiety that's happening in the amygdala. So when that's happening, the cognitive flexibility, emotional regulation, dysregulation, everything is affected. So basically that's good thinking choices, that's making correct decisions, and that's thinking about, if I do it this way, it's going to work well. This now is out of control. So when I'm being bullied, for example, maybe the right thing is to go and look, leave me alone, and you go to the nearest adult the person in charge and tell them, look, this person's doing this. Maybe that's the right choice at the time, okay? But your brain, because it's reduced in its ability to do that, it won't think that's the right choice. Is this the right choice? I don't know. You know, when you can't reason, what's the right choice? You don't know. So maybe you're seeing the choice that should be right as the wrong choice, and the choice that's right as the wrong is the right choice. So, for example, well, if I don't tell anyone, because maybe if I tell people, they'll think I'm weak, or you know, they'll laugh at me, and you know, I don't want to be seen as weak, so I don't want to tell anyone. And if I don't have to tell anyone, I don't have to talk about it because I'm not really sure what to say. And of course, you're not sure what to say because your brain is not functioning correctly. This prefrontal cortex is overwhelmed. You know, it's not. It's just not functioning as it should. So it's not making those decisions that help us, the right decisions. So this is all happening in the brain. And then you see someone, like when they put a post, just stand up for yourself, do this, go learn martial arts. You go, this is why I connect with this. I started martial arts when I was 6 years old. Our team won the Middlesex Championships when I was 10. I was winning tournaments at 9, 10, 11. On the mat, amazing. When I went outside, I was still bullied because I wasn't making the correct decisions. And the reason I wasn't making it, because technically I was so low in my own self-esteem, a couple of things happened. I lost a couple of matches and thought, I'm never going to do that again. Because I was always worried I was going to lose, which pushed me down into that fixed mindset. So that then I start perceiving that when I go to a match, my amygdala is sensitized to the fact that when I go to a match, I'm probably going to lose. And remember when people that told me I could have done better, I should have done this, I should have done that. You're not very good. You're not going to get your belt. Oh, you're not going to be able to train here. That all starts firing off. And isn't that the same? The same thing is I can't make that good decision. The best decision would be, well, no, I tried my best, and I'm gonna keep going and keep trying hard. That's the best decision. But at the time, it doesn't seem like that. And if you've ever put yourself in that scenario where, you know, maybe you were bullied. A lot of people don't admit to their bullied, so there's only me and you in the room. So, you know, you can admit, I've told you mine, so you can admit to yourself. And it doesn't have to be bullying like physical, it could be mental. It can be over social media. It can be, you know, shaming. It can be physical, and it can be, you know, psychological. It can be friends doing it. It doesn't just have to be, I mean, when you say bully and you think of a big thug on the playground, it's not necessarily that. So how do we solve this problem? So what we need to do to solve the problem is, number one, understand what's going on. It's not so easy to just say, stand up for him, go learn martial arts and you can fight back. It doesn't work that way. Some people will say, oh yeah, but I did martial arts and it helped me. Yeah, it can, because, you know, if we go to martial arts and you start regulating your brain with release of good chemicals and eliminating the cortisol, then yes, you can start making better decisions. And maybe that's what happened. But what if we could put that into a step-by-step science process? What we need to do is we need to eliminate or take away as much of the cortisol as possible to get the amygdala and prefrontal cortex working and functioning as best they can. And you do that with the release of good hormones and chemicals. And there are some schools that teach martial arts that help release these when they're training. I know we do because we study child development, we study brain biology, and we study stages of development, what age do kids change and what nurturing they need at different ages. We study the ways to put across the drills. We study how a class format should be, you know, a certain amount of exercising to drills to fun to etc. All these things add up to the release of the good 4 chemicals. And when you release the good 4 chemicals, it neutralizes the bad one. So if I can now start making better decisions, then yes, martial arts is definitely going to help me. It's definitely, you know, probably not going to need it anyway. But, you know, I mean, of course, if you're cornered and you have to fight your way out of a cornered scenario, martial arts is definitely going to help you. But generally, it's not like the movies. It's like someone bullies you and suddenly you start doing backflips and jumping over and kicking 10 ninjas in the head at the same time. It's not like that. It doesn't look like that at all. It's never looked like that. It looks like that in the movies, but it doesn't look like that in real life. In real life, someone's going to get bullied. They're going to go home and tell their parents and the teacher. That's pretty much it. Yeah. If the teacher's of any worth, or the school is any worth in their bullying policies, then they should nip that in the bud pretty much immediately. I mean, if my daughter come home and says she'd be bullying, the first thing I'm going to do is go down to school. I'm not going to tell them, right, well, that's it. I'm going to go and sort the parents out. No, we don't need to do that. That's not the right choice. The right choice would be, hey, here's where the scenario is starting. And then you've got to consider why. It's not always, oh, the bully. Why is the person bullying in the first place? Perhaps they have this amygdala and prefrontal cortex and hippocampus issues going on because their home life isn't working properly. So maybe that's something to look into. Anyway, I hope that was helpful.